Hi, very good evening to all the delegates of the Faculty Development Program, Empowering Managerial Education, Integrating Artificial Intelligence in Teaching and Assessment with Practical Insights. The topic for today's session is Applying Artificial Intelligence in Curriculum Building. However, because this is the very first session, I will try to first have a very broad overview of what exactly is artificial intelligence, what is curriculum building, how can we use various tools, and then we will try to go into the practical aspects of how exactly to use artificial intelligence in our day-to-day working as an educator, as a researcher, as a student, and how can we empower our students in by the use of artificial intelligence. Today's topic is something which is very, very relevant and is empowering every single professional in every industry in zooming their career and professional growth. Then why not education? Why not educators? As educators, we don't not only need to make sure that our teaching practices are now fueled with the power engine of AI, but we also need to equip our students so that they are able to boost their career progression and growth. Today, after discussing the broad theoretical aspects, our main focus and the majority of this session will be dealt with in dealing with practical insights. I am able to see your questions, your comments in the chat box. I would want this session to be a bit more interactive as much as possible. Although I understand that already we have more than 200 participants who have joined this session. So if you have a question, if you have a query, please feel free to post it in the chat box. I'll take it up as and when I get time in the middle of the presentation. So I'd like to share one of my experiences. I was working with one of the biggest MNCs in the pharmaceutical industries. It's operating in more than 100 countries, and it needed to train its sales force of more than 5,000 people working in different parts of the country, different countries having different languages, for its new products. So what was happening was that whenever they have a new product in the market, they need to prepare a lot of material. Then they need to send it out to a lot of to all their task force, sales force of 5,000 employees. And then they need to make sure that all those sales people are well versed with all this content. Now, this is a huge task. How is this going to happen? And how to motivate these employees in trying to learn new products about of the company? So what they did was gamification. What we tried on doing was gamify the whole learning experience. Try to build game that teaches various features, that teaches various components, that teaches what are the new aspects of their products through a game. And as and when the employees engage in this game, they get more and more points, they get more and more rewards, and everything was virtualized. So how this whole process helped was suddenly the engagement increased from 40% to more than 90%. The assessment showed that now all their employees, the sales force, knew much, much better about their products than what they did earlier by reading the simple PDF forms that they released. The reason I'm sharing this experience with you was that probably we also need to gamify this whole process of education. Probably we also need to make our education delivery, our content make it so easy and so adaptable that students are quickly able to absorb it and move much faster. So starting with this, the overview of my presentation would be why exactly artificial intelligence, what is so special about it? What all is it there in curriculum building? What is curriculum building? What is syllabus? How exactly do we need to go about it? And I'll also try to link it with some of the national accreditation standards, NAC standards that most of our institutions require to follow. Then how can we integrate curriculum and artificial intelligence? So what exactly is artificial intelligence and why is it really relevant in today's world? This is something we need to understand. We were already using artificial intelligence, but that was a very broad level. What is artificial intelligence? It is simply technology that is enabling the machines to have a human thinking. It is able to simulate human thinking and the decision making process. So earlier we will have to feed all the information, and then based on the analysis we will have to take a decision. But now the computer is itself able to make decisions based on all the data that it has. What type of data are we talking about? So earlier, when we were uploading so much of information on our websites, on Wikipedia, on our pages, Google was able to scan all those informational pages, scan all those data that was fed, quadrillion amount of data, huge amount of data. And when we put a search text in the search box, it will show us the output of wherever that search keywords were found. So if I'm talking about, for example, marketing management, so it will search all the data on the internet and show us the pages which has these words marketing management. But now that is a very broad level working of Google. But now what is happening is we are moving towards much smarter artificial intelligence. So the second version of it was narrow AI. What is narrow AI? It is like Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, wherein we are feeding information and it is processing that information as well. So for example, Grammarly or Word is able to find out that this particular text has a grammatical mistake or this particular word is spelled wrong. So that is the narrow version of artificial intelligence. The version that we are currently at is generative artificial intelligence. Chat GPT, Bard, DeepSeek, Google, Gemini. So what exactly is it doing? It is interpreting all those documents, the millions and billions amount of data. It is finding logic based on algorithms, based on whatever data is available. It is correlating that data. It is correlating that data, forming logic based on those inputs, based on the billions amount of documents that are already there on the internet and whatever we are feeding on a daily basis on the internet. And then based on that logic, based on the algorithms, it is able to give us a sound output. And the output, the most interesting part is it is able to give the output in our desired language, may it be English, may it be Hindi, or may it be any other language. So what is it now doing? Earlier, we were using Google Maps. It was showing us the way from one place to another. It was showing us the directions from one place to another. Then the next step was it was showing us how much time will it take for us to reach from one point to another. Now that is not as simple as it may sound, because it is correctly able to analyze data of from all the millions of devices that are linked with Google Maps. It is able to analyze how much is the traffic at this particular point of time. Is it a Sunday? Is it a Sunday evening? Is it also any other special holiday? And then based on that information, it correlates all the data sets and understands what is the probability of traffic and then able to tell us the time. So these are the advanced versions. And then of course we all have used Chat GPT. We have used it to write applications. We have used to write emails. So this is the most advanced version that we have right now. We are able to generate images. We are able to generate videos based upon our inputs. So there was a time not very long ago that if we have a mobile phone and we want to download an image, I think some of us can recall that we would try to search for a better network, how to download a image on the mobile. And that image would be a very small 50 KB image. And then we'll be struggling to get 2G network. It was a very big move that MTNL had launched 3G network first time in India in probably 2008. And the speed was very limited. But now the thing is that we are no more relying upon the capabilities of our devices. We are relying on the capabilities, on the computational capability of the cloud servers. So although artificial intelligence is making huge amount of data processing, is having huge amount of computational abilities, but that is not from the device that we are using. It is not the laptop or the desktop or the mobile that we are using. It is using the computational capabilities of a very remote server located somewhere far away. And based upon those computational capabilities, based upon the data that has been fed into the servers, it is giving us the output. Now, this is not only just one industry or the big corporates, not only just Amazon or IBM or TCS or the big top-notch tech companies, but every single industry is able to use artificial intelligence for their customized use. So it is very important that while everybody is advancing, why not managerial education? Why not education sector as a whole empowers itself in delivering the knowledge and information that we do on a daily basis to our students? Why not make our students capable enough to use AI for their future use and also use AI for assessment that we have? Now, it is very important to note that the reason why we included assessment in today in this whole FDP session is that assessment can be very generic and assessment can be very specific. Our target overall is to have a very customized, very personalized experience, even if you are teaching hundreds of students at a time. So, although it is not humanly possible that for a teacher, for an educator, or for a researcher to process thousands of documents at a given point of time in a short span of probably 1 or 2 days. But now, if we have AI, why not use it for this? So it is making our life much faster, much smarter, and much easier. So I found read this quote that this will almost be like the new electricity that will power every single industry. So not it was very recent that barely any of us used WhatsApp, and now today every single person is on WhatsApp. Today we cannot give an excuse that WhatsApp is too technical or Facebook is too technical or probably Word or even Excel is too technical. These are the very basic requirements that we as educators are expected to know. We are expected to have proper Excel sheets. We are expected to write very proper reports in Word. And we are also expected to have basic knowledge of all the technology. So this is also stepping up our game for a better tomorrow. So if we are talking about AI literacy, what exactly is AI being called AI literate? How do we call someone AI literate? May it be a student, may it be an educator, may it be a researcher. See, we need to learn AI, prep our students, considering it's intuitive, it's fast, it's for a better tomorrow. But when we call AI literacy, it mainly means it may be grading our students, formatting our content, creating content for our lecture, creating lecture plans, generating lecture plans and quizzes that complement those lecture plans. And a very important aspect, personalizing the learning experience. When I talk about personalizing the learning experience, if someone in the audience has gone through the NAC accreditation process, we have a concept of slow learners and fast learners. We have a concept of giving personalized feedback to the students, having tutorial sessions wherein there is a much lesser student strength so that we can have a one-to-one interaction with the students. Now, what is happening is that supposedly you have a batch of 100 and you have given them for the semester exams, you have 6 or 7 units, you have different subjects and you have different units wherein you have taught them. I'm taking the example of economics probably. So you have microeconomics, you have macroeconomics, and even further drilling down, you have various units, subunits. It is not really possible for a teacher to have a very personalized feedback and a revision exercise for each of those students based upon their performance in the test that they have given. But when is it not possible? When the students have written those papers and then you are evaluating question after question for all those 100 students and then trying to analyze which student has performed badly in which questions, linking them back to the unit which those questions have derived from, and then giving that one-to-one feedback. That's a very, very lengthy process. How about we AI, use AI assessment techniques, and then give that exam to the students? It can help us have a very perfect report of which student has performed well in which units, which students have performed badly in which units, and then have a very perfect one-to-one session that this is what you really need to focus upon. So AI driven personalization is something that we all can save time on. And then of course, gamification. When I talk about gamification, it's more about co-curricular activities and activities that are in the classroom that aid our teaching learning process in a gamified manner. It is all about making the class far more engaging. It is about having that excitement, that thrill in the class, so that it's not just reading slides, reading a book, but it is more about engaging the audience, engaging our learners to have a much better absorption of the concepts. AI for students, we have researchers. We have a lot of researchers who have joined our program today. So it is there in every single industry, may it be law, may it be HR, may it be marketing, may it be finance. So students also need to learn three very important words over here: prompt, verify, and apply. I'm going to repeat this: prompt, verify, and apply. I'm going to dive much into much deeper detail eventually, but students really need to understand how to prompt effectively, verify the AI generated content, and then apply this AI generated content for their academic and professional tasks. Because AI is no more just a tech skill. I think it's very soon becoming a life skill for all of us. So prompt engineering is, we will, I think I'll be able to explain it much, much better, and we'll be able to absorb what is prompt when we go into the practical cases. So prompt engineering is designing the exact precise AI prompt. There's a concept in computers, if you may know, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So we all have seen that unless our keywords are very perfect on Google, the Google will not give us good results. So we need to make sure that we are putting in the perfect keywords in Google search to have the desired results. Similarly, it is very, very important that we don't assume whatever we are asking. We have a very precise question, a very properly formulated prompt. The prompt is something that we are asking to the AI engine, AI chatbot, or artificial intelligence chat GPT. So it should be very well designed prompt. It should be a very well designed, well thoughtful query that we raise to the AI prompt. Secondly, it is extremely important to understand whether the artificial intelligence chatbot or engine is giving us the right output or not. We have all seen some of our students would submit research papers or would submit references which are purely referenced to Google. Now, Google is only a search engine. It will only show the data which someone might have uploaded, but that doesn't really make it true. That doesn't really make it right. Similarly, artificial intelligence is only giving us its opinion or its data in after formulating logic from all the billions of documents that it has gone through. But still, there's a lot of gap. That gap is based upon our query, understanding of that query by the AI engine, and then what data it has been fed. Lastly, we need to really understand how can we make use of AI in our context, in our teaching learning process, in our professional outlook. So we need to be sure of how are we using it. Just for example, WhatsApp, some may use it for personal use, some are using it for business use, some are using it for probably broadcasting information, some are using WhatsApp for sales. So similarly, we need to be sure of how are we using this power engine for our own personal benefit and professional growth. Lastly, it is very important that we have an ethical use policy in our organization, in our institution, for our students. So whenever there's a use of AI, there's no harm in it, but we should declare it outright that this has been generated through AI or this has been processed through AI. So this sets a clear standard. This sets a clear benchmark for all our students, for all our users, that there has been AI use is okay as long as we are following the guidelines for it. Moving ahead. What do we mean by curriculum building? I'll quickly take up a few questions if we have till now. I'm just switching to the chat box. So there's just one question, how do we use it for research writing? We'll come back to this after the practical uses. I'm covering this topic over there. Any other question we have? All right. So I'll continue with the slides. So curriculum building, first of all, it's very important that curriculum is not syllabus. There's a huge amount of difference between curriculum and syllabus. It's almost like talking about marketing and talking about advertising, whereas one is a very much broader concept. It's a much bigger umbrella, and the other is a very small aspect of it. So curriculum is something that has a very well-defined goal, a very well-defined objective, and syllabus is the means to deliver to achieve the desired results of that curriculum. So curriculum is a very comprehensive multi-layered academic process. We have a very well-defined structure wherein there are educational goals, there are well-defined outcomes, and then there is important industry relevance. If we are imparting some knowledge or skills to the student, how are they linked to the industry, and what is the future requirement of the industry where they will be probably working, setting up their business, or working as a professional. So it involves defining outcomes, structuring modules, and also aligning the curriculum with the new education policy. What are the industry needs? So curriculum will enroll program vision, attributes, course learning outcomes, program learning outcomes, program specific outcomes, structuring of the course. How do we really want to structure it? How do we want to sequence it? What unit should be first? What unit should be second? What subject should be in the semester one? What subject should be in semester three? How are we planning to deliver this curriculum? Is it through quizzes, class test, debates, speeches, presentation, normal classroom teaching? So that pedagogy depends. Then mapping the assessment with the learning objectives. If the assessment is such, how are they getting linked with the learning outcomes in the program vision? Aligning the overall curriculum with the industrial requirements. If the curriculum is not linked with the industrial requirement, there's no point because the students will be unemployable. Then the new education policy, how we are linking our curriculum into a multidisciplinary approach, making law students also have a bit of knowledge about commerce, the commerce students having a bit of knowledge about other domains based upon the student interest, based upon the industry that they plan to go into. So that is all about new education policy, multidisciplinary approach, building it and using AI to have this curriculum building. And lastly, of course, review and the feedback loop. Who are the stakeholders? Educators, students, employers, alumni, and parents. So we need to make sure that all the curriculum and the feedback from all the five stakeholders are very well looped, and the action plan is strong enough to make the desired changes in the upcoming sessions. So we have spoken about course structuring and sequencing, the logical flow from the very basic fundamentals to the much advanced concepts, linking it with the credit hours, which subject, which module requires what amount of hours, what amount of teaching hours, what amount of assessment points that are need to be linked, suggesting a progression path, what needs to be in semester one, what needs to be in semester two, and gradually so on and so forth. So this is about course structure and sequencing. And then the pedagogy. What are we using? Are we using case study based approach? Are we using projects? Are we using gamification? Are we using a flipped classroom approach? Are we using simulation techniques? So all this are a part of the curriculum building. Aligning it with the job roles, emerging technologies, embedding the certification programs, projects, simulations, live projects with this industrial requirement. So we can refer various, employment reports. We can vary, such as NASSCOM has it, WVF has it. So we can use these reports to understand what exactly is the industrial requirement, what is the requirement of future employers or the businessmen, and then linking it back to our curriculum that we are imparting to the students in today's time. New education policy, including ABC credits, ethical use, entrepreneurship, promoting multidisciplinary and skill-based courses. So how are we making sure that whatever teaching practices we are following are skill-based, using trying to impart tangible skills in this whole teaching learning process, and in electives and value added courses. So the overall objective is that the student is able to follow a path that leads him or her to his desired industry, and the student has that required level of knowledge and skills. And we are using now we are seeing how can we use AI to have all of this combined and clubbed together with a much focused approach, much personalized approach and learning experience. We just discussed curriculum and feedback, collecting feedback from our students, from alumni, from industry, that is the employers, having that feedback. So it is again important. We are teaching about, again taking that example, we are teaching a batch of 100 students. 100 feedbacks are coming from there. Then we have employers. Then we have 100 parents. Then we have faculty members or colleagues. And then we have alumni. Is it really possible to combine, analyze, and process all this feedback and then bring it back to our curriculum? This process takes time, but if we are using AI, I think what usually takes a month or two will get narrowed down to probably 1 or 2 days. So that is the power of AI, and we'll see how can we do this using AI in curriculum building. So first of all, although most of us are faculty members and researchers or PG scholars in university affiliate colleges or private autonomous colleges, and we generally get a curriculum, but it is still important to understand that how has that curriculum been formulated, how to interpret that curriculum, that syllabus, wherein it is just showing us the topics and suggested reading. So how to correlate the learning outcomes on one hand, syllabus on the other hand, and then forming our pedagogy, forming our teaching plan, lesson plan to ensure that the curriculum delivery is perfect. We are able to achieve the learning outcomes. We are able to achieve the program specific outcomes, and we are able to map those market trends. We are able to map those skills that are required to be delivered and able to provide a very personalized experience to the students. Also, at the same time, it is very easy with the help of AI that, for example, you have strategic management, you're teaching strategic management. You have the syllabus of your university or you have the syllabus of your college, and you have a particular set of lesson plan. But with AI, you can very easily compare this lesson plan, the syllabus, this curriculum, learning outcomes with that of other colleges, as well as with the best industry practices and the best standards of probably the top 10 colleges globally. So this comparison, which is very difficult on a day-to-day basis, is fueled by AI, wherein we can see that if strategic management, this particular practice or simulation technique, or probably a live project is being used to impart a particular unit or a particular chapter, we can also incorporate this in our curriculum. Some of us might not know what's Bloom's taxonomy. This is a snapshot of Bloom's taxonomy where we are creating, combining parts to make a new whole. We are evaluating ideas, analyzing, breaking down information into component level, applying that information, those facts, those rules, and our ideas, understanding what facts really mean, and then reconciling all of this and recognizing the curriculum that we are forming. So using Bloom's taxonomy to form a basic draft of our curriculum, mapping it with the market trends, comparing it with the industry best of industry standards and benchmarks, and then forming our teaching pedagogy and lesson methodology. So we are using tools like ChatGPT. We have a couple of practical use cases that I will be going through. Having a very clear and defined outcome. So it's important to understand that now we are no more in the era of rote learning. You are asking the student to define what is strategic management, define what is microeconomics, and the students are giving you a long answer. Recently, CBSE allowed open book exams for class 9 students. So education and our government is taking the best of efforts for evolving education, for meeting the global standards and making sure that the upcoming generation is equipped with the best of knowledge and skills and is able to perform really well in their profession. So as educators, we have this responsibility that we also use these best of the time technology tools in very clearly defining what are the learning outcomes and using these outcomes in our assessment techniques. So if we are clear that, okay, there is an open book exam, but we have multiple choice questions, will the students be able to perform in it, and how their performance for each of those questions are aligned with the various units, various credit hours that we have given allotted to it, and where exactly is the gap lying. So the create CLO. CLO is course learning outcomes for business analytics. So this is one of the prompts, but we'll use this to further understand how we are using the AI tools for defining learning outcomes. Teaching and assessment tools. So the best part is that we are able to provide the same set of questions to all the students, understand where is the gap for each of those specific students, and then the second stage of learning, the second stage of imparting education would be uh, giving the students the next set of questions based on their previous output. So if a particular previous inputs, so if a particular student has not really performed well in economics, but is excellent in accounts, we can probably understand that where is the gap lying and deliver our further future sessions based upon that gap, or probably give review exercises to the students, give material to the students based upon that gap analysis. And we don't have to do this for each and every student. We just have to define the logic. If a student is giving answers right in this, wrong in this is the notes that the student gets. If the student has performed well in all these questions but done miserably in the other set of questions, we know that this is the focus area and this is the further exercises that the students will get. So generate level based quizzes and content, and then adapt the reading material based upon those performances. So using performance of the student to define what should be the focus areas in the upcoming sessions. So we can use various tools. We'll come on all these tools in the due course of time. Personalized and adaptive learning. We just discussed this. Platforms to adjust learner space. So this is, I don't know if any of you have used Duolingo or Khan Academy, or there are so many online tools wherein the best part about these tools is it continuously gamifies the learning process of the students. Based on one input, it will ask the next question. If the student has answered wrong, it will again ask a similar question because that question was answered wrong. Even if the student has given a right answer of a particular question, it will again test. It may be, so it has generative logic. And every student is given questions based upon their level of understanding. So if a student is able to perform very easily on a particular set of questions, that student will start getting advanced level questions. However, if a student is not able to perform well, probably the question, standard of questions will be either lowered, or the student will be given exercises to review and practice more on those particular set of questions or those particular set of study material. So micro learning paths are defined for each and every student. Try to understand, we are talking about micro learning for each and every student. Even though we are imparting the same information, same knowledge, but we have already always seen that there's a pyramid in the class. There's one topper, some in the middle, and some in the last. But over here, we are talking about giving that personalized learning experience, micro learning paths to each and every student with the help of AI. How are we doing that? We are doing that with the help of transforming the learning journey based on their assessment. So we are tying this assessment, feedback, learning process, again teaching, again assessment based upon the performance of the student. Identifying the gaps, identifying which modules are weak and which are the strong areas, and then probably defining our teaching plan accordingly. So there are advanced dashboards that allow us to do all this process. And there are, of course, various tools such as Moodle is there, Canvas AI is there. There's a lot of tools. We'll discuss of them. So summarizing, how are we deriving value from AI? We are curating the content based upon the student, automating the outcome alignment. We are enabling dynamic content delivery, dynamic on the student preference based upon students' performance. Personalizing learning. Each student has its own learning journey, its own learning assessment, and based upon the learning, it is getting the assessment. Based upon the performance in the assessment, it is getting back its further learning chapters and process. And supporting continuous enhancement in the curriculum. So if we know that a lot of students require a particular task, or a particular tangible skill, or there's a very strong industry requirements for students to learn probably the concept of cash cow, or they need to learn tally in accounts. So we can continuously enhance our curriculum based on real-time inputs and employability requirements and their performance in the assessment. I'll just take a short break for question and answers over here. How is AI used in STEM education? So, see, we have a lot of tools. How are we able? I'll go through a few practical use cases of artificial intelligence in curriculum building, and of course in delivery of our teaching plans and education. Now, how are you able to further use it? There can be more than 1,000 of use cases, and now how are we using it is going to be our own journey. How AI can be helpful to prepare content for teachers. We have a use case. We will be using the having a practical use case. We'll come to that. Bloom's is it suggest some AI tools? We will be going to that. There are some AI tools for design simulation for class. Yes, we have a tool for that, and I will be taking that up as well in our practical use cases. So that's all coming ahead. Practical use cases. So I think this is where we start answering your questions. I'll uh, give 30 seconds or probably 1 minute for you to post any more questions that you may have, and then we'll start again. All right. So, I'll start with the very, very basic example of using Chat GPT for a very simple calculation. Although it is highly possible that you may already know it, but I'm going to use this as a base and then eventually take difficult and more difficult cases for us to understand. So I'm going to share my screen now. Just a second. First of all, I'm going to use AI tool Chat GPT for a very simple calculation. I hope you're able to see my screen. I've opened chatgpt.com. I'm doing this real time. This is not recorded so that whatever we do is real time and you're able to make use of it. I'm logging in. It is asking me for login credentials. I'm logging in through Google. Okay, so we have logged in. So I am going to upload a very simple image. Uh, okay, so I need to share this image. I am uploading a very simple image as you can see. Over here, I have written down A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. These are some calculations. Here is the quantity. There are two prices, price one, and then there's price two. Now, if I require the total price as per quantity, the sum of total price as per price one for quantity, and then the total price for all the goods A to L for multiplying price 2 with quantity. I'll have to type all of this in Excel, do a summation and everything, but I'll simply write a prompt. So the prompt that I'm writing over here is give me the final price with price 1 and with price 2 after multiplying the corresponding quantity, and final price with price 2 after multiplying with the. Okay, so I have uploaded the image. It's analyzing the data. Perfect. So it is able to understand my handwriting. It has typed all the data for me and it has given me the final price that if we are going with price one, this is the going to be the final output. If we are going with price two, this is going to be the final output. So a couple of things that we need to understand here is we do not need to type everything, even if it is written by pen and a simple photograph has been taken. Artificial intelligence is able to interpret what we have written. So this is something very helpful. We don't need to first go into Excel, type everything and then upload. We can simply take a picture of most of our content. I'll tell you what other use cases derive from this. I often use Chat GPT to give dictations. I simply narrate the whole thing and it is able to type it perfectly, fill in the gaps and give me the written content. Similarly, if I have to scan something or there's an old document that I need to scan and then retype it, it is able to do all of that. Now we'll take another use case. And the second use case that I'm taking is making a PowerPoint presentation. I think this is something which is going to be very important for most of us as teachers on how to make a PowerPoint presentations on a particular topic or for a particular session. So this is something which we'll do real time. Uh, and let's see how much time does it take for us to make a PowerPoint presentation. Sounds good? So, okay, now I'm going to write, help me make a session. First, I'm going to ask Chat GPT to make a session plan. Okay, so I think I need to share my screen here. Yeah. Are you able to see my screen now? So I'm writing the prompt here. See, the writing of the prompt is the most important aspect. Help me make a session plan for a 60 minutes session on strategic management class where I need to explain the concept of okay, so I'll take just for example, I'll take BCG growth matrix. Along with this, give me a layout for 10 slides, which I will use to deliver this session. Okay, so this is the prompt that we have given over here. Session plan 60 minutes, introduction 5 minutes, welcome students, set context, portfolio, how should a company decide where to invest, where to grow, where to exit, background of BCG growth matrix, Boston Consultancy Group came up with it, purpose, relevance, explanation of the matrix 15 minutes. It's giving me a complete lesson plan, session plan of how can I deliver this session on BCG growth matrix in strategic management. Market growth, relative market growth, stars, cash cows, question marks and dogs, application, criticism, and then case study. Now it is also asking me, take an Indian example. Do you want me to take an Indian example, or do you want me to which category should I put these products in? So it is giving me some options to make the class more interactive by adding some case studies and having some Q&A in the session. 10 slide layout is it has given me a complete layout. Now I want to modify the content. So I will tell ChatGPT, give me, okay, so in the above session plan, add a case study from Hindustan Unilever and give me PowerPoint presentation in downloadable format. I can see that there's a small spelling mistake, but I'm going to let it be. So it is analyzing the data. So it has given me the PPT, download BCG growth matrix session. I'm downloading this file. Okay, so here is the file. I'm opening this file in Microsoft PowerPoint and I'm going to share my screen now. So this is the file that it has given me. Now it has put in my name already. If you can see that, I'm going to use a designer tool over here. This is the AI component of Microsoft. And now it is giving me an automated design. I don't need to design individually. I'm just going to click this and this slide is already designed. I'm going to the next slide. Introduction to portfolio analysis. Now it is already giving me the suggested designs on the right hand side. If you are able to see this, it is giving me that these are the probable designs that we can use for this particular PPT. I think I like this design. I'm going to go forward with this. Going to the next slide. Again, it is giving me charts. It is giving me circles. It is giving me all the possible designs, but somehow I don't like any of them. So I can click see more design ideas. And I think we can go forward with this. The framework. It's again coming up with a lot of ideas. It automatically comes up with images. And this is all that it takes to design a PPT. It's that simple. Earlier what we were spending, where we were spending hours and hours in designing and trying to put in some creative word art, clip art, and trying to have the best of designs. Now it is doing automatically doing that for us within a click of a button. The slides are well formatted, the content is perfect, the designs are perfect, the font sizes are perfect, and even if we need to do anything else, we can do that. So this is how we can go about it. There's a Hindustan case, Unilever case study as well over here. So we can use it as per our needs. Now I'm going to go to the next case use. Just a second, I'm going to share the screen again. Preparing a quiz. So this is very important. Again, we often require to prepare a quiz, but we are not sure of how to do it. So what I'll do is I'll again go to Chat GPT. I want the syllabus. Let's take up some other subjects. So this time what I'll do is I'll take BCA, Bachelor's in Computer Application, or BBA. I'll take BBA, Bachelor's in Business Administration. So I'm going to go on Ishan's website. Uh, Over here we have BBA. I am going to download the syllabus. Okay, so here we have the syllabus. I'm going to download the syllabus. And once we have this file, I'm going to save this file in my downloads. BBA syllabus. Now I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to add a document with this plus sign, add photos and files. And then I'm going to the download section and I'm uploading this BBA syllabus. Okay. For your reference, I'm going to open this file. This is the Chaudhry Charan Singh University syllabus. It has all the subjects. And then after listing out the subjects, it has all the detailed unit 1, unit 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Chat GPT and ask Chat GPT that, okay, give me 15 MCQs, multiple choice questions on BBA 102 organizational behavior after taking the curriculum from the file attached. Okay, here we go. Here are 15 multiple choice questions of organization behavior. It is giving me from unit 1. It is clearly specifying that this is the question from unit 1, answer B. Question 2, answer C. Question 3, answer B. And then again, it is clearly specifying second unit. So over here, we can see that second unit is of industry, individual behavior. Third unit is of behavior dynamics. Fourth unit is of group behavior. And it is giving me unit wise questions from each of the units. So this is the power of artificial intelligence. It took us barely 1 minute to have all these questions ready for all the units. Now let's tweak our prompt a little. Give me 10 more questions, make them difficult, and give from unit 5 only. All right, so it is giving me advanced level questions from unit 5, management of change, and these are the questions. And now if you have knowledge about a little bit knowledge about organization behavior, you can see that the quality of questions has stepped up. So this is how we can have a much faster assessment. And now it is asking us a further question. Do you want me to compile all the questions into a properly formatted question paper along with answer key in the end? So this is simply uh, doing a task which would have probably taken us 3 to 4 hours in a matter of seconds. Do we have any questions till now? So we have a question how to convert them to quiz. So we can simply go to forms.office, Microsoft Forms. Over here, we can have a new quiz. We can have multiple choice questions, and over here we can copy paste all these questions or import a file to have these questions imported in this along with the options and the right answers. So this has simplified our teaching process so much. Do we have any other questions? Yes, we can use Google Forms, of course. So I am using Office 365. I'm using Office 365 for having this design feature, and the computer should be connected to the internet. I'm going back to Microsoft PowerPoint. There's a question related to it. I'm using Microsoft Office 365, wherein all these designer ideas are coming in, and we are able to have these perfect PowerPoint presentations within seconds. Now I'm quickly going to rush to another use cases because we are going to get short on time. The next use case that we are going to have is just a second, course outcome. So let me again go to this website. Just a second. I'm sharing my screen, chat GPT screen again. I'm going to go on one of the Ishan's website and try to see what course outcome is expected. So I'm going to go on department. I'm going to go on any one random department. Let's go to anatomy department. Over here, they have listed the program and course outcomes. Now I'm going to simply take a screenshot. I'm going to take a screenshot of all these course outcomes. I'm not copying, I'm not doing anything else. I'm simply taking a screenshot and then posting this over here. I'm going to use Control V. I've posted the course outcomes. And now I'm going to write the prompt based on these course outcomes. Suggest me a few co-curricular and co-curricular activities that can be carried out in the class based on this syllabus and CO. Okay, so what have I done? I have simply copy pasted the course outcomes of this particular subject. This is the name of the subject, Rachna Sharir, and I have copied all these course outcomes, pasted this image over here. You can see this image pasted over here. And then I have written based on these course outcomes, suggest me a few co-curricular activities. Let's see what we get. Okay, so here it is. It's suggesting me that based on course outcome 1, fundamentals, you can probably have a debate or discussion on this particular topic. You can have a poster presentation on this particular topic. As simple as that. It's giving absolutely baked cake. It's giving us exact information that if you want this course outcome, have a debate on this topic, have a poster presentation on this topic, have a model making competition on this topic. You can have a seminar on this particular topic. It's as simple as that. The NAC accreditation process is all about delivering course outcomes in your teaching methodology. And now ChatGPT or other AI tools are making it so simple. We don't really need to hunt down on what activities. It's all about the execution now. We don't need to think if it's gonna be a debate or a presentation. If we have an idea, it's perfect. If we don't have an idea, this is where we go and have a perfect teaching methodology plan. and it is giving us all sorts of output. We can have an exhibit, quiz competition, seminar, poster, debate, case-based learning, group mapping activity. So I think, and okay, so if we want further details, let's dig in further. We can have, I'm going to highlight this, ask ChatGPT, and I'm again going, give me more details. And there we are. It's going to give us learning objectives, structure of the workshop, expected learning outcome, and resources required. So I think it's a very amazing tool that's going to help all of us. Now I'm going to go to the next use case. Next use case, I'm going to use Chat GPT to draft a particular notice. We often require to draft notices in our daily working. So I'm going to write a particular notice, and we will see how Chat GPT is helping us out. Draft draft a notice. Let's make it a show cause notice. Draft a show cause notice to BBA intern Mr. Ram Kumar, who has been absconding from his internship duties. See, over here, it is very important that we write the prompt very carefully and has complete set of details. We discussed this in our earlier slides also, that if your prompt does not have the complete information, then ChatGPT will not be able to help you or probably give you misleading output or incomplete output. So it is very important that we give out the complete set of details. Complete set of details means, over here I've written draft a show cause notice to BBA intern Mr. Ram Kumar, who has been absconding from his internship duties for more than 2 weeks without any information. Inform that he will not be promoted under any circumstances. This internship of 6 months is a mandatory requirement to complete the BBA program as per the rules and regulations of the university and Ministry of Education. I'm writing all these details. Basically, I'm providing information to ChatGPT that what should be the content of this notice. He must justify his leave of absence without information and report to 12th January to the principal. Decision to allow with him will be further communicated. So this is the input that I'm giving. Let's see what we have now. It has given us a perfect show cause notice with some fill in the blanks. We need to fill in the enrollment number, batch, we need to fill in a date. And then it has given us a complete notice, given us all the guidelines that we gave. And then it has been concluded with the decision of continuation of internship issued by so and so acknowledgement. So this is how we are able to use it for our day-to-day communication, day-to-day drafting. Now I'm going to go to the next example. And this is a very, very important example. I'm highlighting this is a very, very important example. Okay. I'm going to simply ask ChatGPT to draw an image. Okay. Draw me a man writing on his study table. And there's a reason I've taken up this example. At the same time, I'll take another chat GPT window and go up with the another example because it's taking time. I'm simply going to ask a very basic question to chat GPT. What is 6.8 minus 6.11? Do we know the answer of this? Is it the right answer? No, it's not the right answer. And that is what is important. We need to make sure that we are verifying all the output given by ChatGPT. We need to make sure that any inaccuracy is corrected. I'm again going back to the previous window. It's taking a bit of time to generate this image. In the meanwhile, we'll take up one more example. This is also something which we often need to do, and that is taking feedback of our curriculum or probably any of our stakeholders. Draft. So this is the prompt that I'm typing. Draft me 10 questions for feedback on this session on strategic management meant for students of BBA, scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best. Questions must include feedback on topic, content, delivery, Q&A session, etc. So what I have done is I have given details on what exactly am I expecting. And here we go. So, and see something very interesting. It has automatically included BCG matrix and Hindustan liver case study in this feedback. It is learning because a few minutes back we asked it to prepare a presentation on BCG matrix and include a case study on Hindustan liver, Unilever. So it has already included that question over here. So it is continuously improvising based upon your inputs. So now over here, it has drawn a very perfect image of a man writing on his study table with, if you notice, he's writing with his right hand. If you notice, he's writing with his right hand. Now I'm going to ask ChatGPT, give me the same image, but with a man writing with his left hand. So we'll give ChatGPT some time to generate this image. In the meanwhile, I'll go to some other tool. So now I'm going to use DAL-E, which is also part of ChatGPT. It is a variant of ChatGPT. It is used for creating images. Now again, prompt is very, very important. How are we using the prompt is something that will make all the difference. So my first prompt is the query that I'm running. Generate an image of rural marketing by showing an FMCG product in a rural area backdrop. Let's see what we get. So these images can be used for creating content, creating PowerPoint presentations. Someone was asking in the comment section, can we use it for creating slides? So I think we have discussed how to create slides, how to generate images, how to generate questions, how to automatically design PowerPoint presentations. So all of this is covered in curriculum building. We are able to see that it is able to give us textual output within seconds. Images do take a little bit of time. So it has given us a very perfect image over here, wherein we are able to see a rural background and people are selling some sort of a soap or a detergent, but it's not very clear. The text is bogged. Over here also, it's not very clear what is written. And probably if we want to add some more details, let's try adding some more details. This time I'm going to add a lot of details in our prompt. So what have I written over here? Give me a high quality, detailed and realistic rural village market scene in India. A neatly dressed woman in traditional attire sari is selling branded shampoo sachet from a small, well organized wooden cart. The cart is decorated with colorful cloths, clearly displaying shampoo brand and a logo on a clean printed signboard. Shampoo sachets named Nirmala are neatly hung in rows and from strings and hooks on the cart. You see the level of detail that we are specifying over here. The scene includes clean village background with mud brick houses, green fields, and trees. Several villagers, women, children, and men are gathered around the cart interacting with the seller. The environment is lively, sunny, and vibrant with bicycles, livestock, and small vendors in the background. So, this is the level of detail that you have to give if you're looking for a perfect output. Let's see what we get after giving this output. In the meanwhile, I'm switching back to the previous one. You see what is happening over here? We had an image with a man writing. I asked ChatGPT to give me the same image but with a man writing from his left hand. However, the image that we have got is again a man writing from his right hand. Now, this is something we need to understand. ChatGPT is learning from billions and billions of images and documents that are uploaded on the internet. It's not always necessary that the algorithms that are working for ChatGPT derive the right logic. In the world, there are barely 10% people who are left-handed. So according to ChatGPT's algorithms, if 90% of the images are writing from the right hand, then probably this is the right thing. And it doesn't really know what is left hand writing. And the reason I'm sharing this example with you is you must make sure of the inaccuracies that are generated with ChatGPT. You cannot blindly follow any artificial intelligence system. And this is to say that AI can never replace humans. It can only empower them based upon our usage and our prompts and how are we able to deploy this technology tool. Again, coming back to the village. So this time it has given us a much better image. Nirmala shampoo sachets. There's a women, there's a car, there are kids around, there's a beautiful background scene with mud houses, there are bicycles. So it all really depends upon what is our prompt, what are we trying to gain out of it. And if we are getting a wrong output, probably we need to change our prompt and try to see whether the derived output really sets according to our requirement. Now, enough of ChatGPT. Let's go on to some other tool. So this is a tool by Notebook LM. This is a tool by Google, and it helps us accumulate, interpret, cross-link as much sources as we have. So whenever I create a notebook over here, it will ask me for sources. It is asking me for sources from Google Drive. I can upload any amount of documents over here. Documents may be PDF, text, audio, whatever. I can upload website links and I can paste text over here. So what happens is we were told some of our researchers, we may have a lot of references, 40 references. We want to refer a lot of journals. We want to refer a lot of newspapers. We want to refer a lot of books. What we will do is we will add all this content over here. So let's do that real time. I have already downloaded the income tax bill, which recently was presented in the Lok Sabha. Now this document, just a second. So if you are able to see, this document is a more than 640 pages of document. 624 pages of document that we have over here. And what I'm hoping to do is I'm trying to understand this document, what are the various sections in this document and what are the various provisions of this document. Now, even though I'm a chartered accountant, but it will take me at least a few days to completely read, reread and go through each and every section of this book. What I'm simply going to do is I'm going to upload a file. I am going to go through this. I'm going to upload this PDF. This PDF is getting uploaded over here, and now you will be amazed by the level of structuring that this document does. It will clearly tell you what are the sections in this document. It will create a mind map. It will give you question. You can ask as many questions. It will give you the exact answer along with the source based upon which it has answered that question. So for example, if I'm asking that based upon this income tax bill, how will my house rent be taxed in the upcoming year? It will tell me the answer and also tell me the pages and the section of this document based upon which it has given me this output. So let's try doing that once the document is ready. And we don't need to add just one source. We can add as many number of sources, as many number of documents over here. It can have more than 20 PDF files over here. I'm not doing that just to save time on this live presentation. So it has analyzed the whole income tax bill. Now I'm going to ask how will the house rent be taxed? There I go. It has clearly given me the output. Income from house property based on section 2, 13B, 21 and 77. It has given me the chargeability, annual value, exclusions, vacant property, unrealized rent, stock and trade, whatever provisions are there based upon those relevant sections. It is giving me clause 23, clause 24. It is giving me all that is there in this document based upon house rent. Now I really want to dig down where is it deriving this information. So I'll go over here, I'll click. I'll go on clause 25 and I'll ask, give me sources. At the same hand, I'll show you a mind map. I've asked the LLM tool to create a mind map of this document. And I'll also ask to create a briefing document. What all components are there in this. So it is creating a briefing document and it is creating a mind map for me. I think we'll have to wait for a couple of seconds. In the meanwhile, I'll ask another question. What will be the provision for taxing capital gain on car sold by business? That's just a random question that came to my mind. Okay. In the meanwhile, we have this mind map ready. So it has created this beautiful mind map with all the sections, all the subsections. I'm able to see set of carry forward, double taxation, return of income. I'm able to see basis of charge, computation of income, income not forming, aggregate. If I'm clicking any of this, it is further giving me what are the subtopics in this. It is giving me all the subtopics in this beautiful mind map that it has created within a few seconds. New tax regime, it is further subdivided into more topics. So this is the beauty of artificial intelligence. I'm going to go back now and I'm going to go through the briefing document that we were talking about. So this is the briefing document that it has created. Just a second. Executive summary, main provisions, core concepts, definitions. It has created a beautiful, wonderful, detailed document along with all the clauses mentioned, all the chapters mentioned of the complete book summarized into a few pages. So this is Notebook LM by Google. Let's try our hands on one more tool. I am going to open Canva, canva.com. So this is a very interesting tool for creating images, for creating greetings. Let's try. So okay. Uh, 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 uh. The principal in our college is soon going to have his 55th birthday. Let's try to create a greeting card for our principal. Help me make greeting card for my principal who is 55th birthday tomorrow. He loves cars and spiritual quotes. So this is the add-on layer that I have added over here. He loves cars and spiritual quotes. So let's see what we get. Just a second. I think this should be canva.ai. Just give me a moment. Yes, canva.ai. And over here, I have chosen canva.ai and I have written this prompt. And now let's see what we get. So what it has done is it has beautifully added a car photograph. It has given celebrating your leadership, the road. It has added a a quote, a road to success is always under construction. So it has very cleverly linked car, road, and a motivational quote over here and given us an image. Let's try something else. Let me try another prompt. Give me an illustration graphic for marginal utility curve in economics. So over here, we have marginal utility curves with various designs. We can modify it. We can further define our prompt much more clearly to have the desired output. But we have an idea. We have an idea that it's going to take barely a few seconds to get the desired illustration. All right. So we have seen cases of preparing a quiz, delivering as per course outcome, drafting notices. We have seen the data bias. It was not able to generate left-handed images. We have seen creating feedback forms, generating images, analyzing data sources, illustrations, and images. These are some of the tools that are very helpful in teaching. Canva, Gradescope, Google Forms, Perplexity, Synthesia. Synthesia is very useful in creating educational videos. Then we have Otter, we have Khanmigo, Quizillion, we have Notebook LM. So there are a lot of more tools. There are n number of tools these days, but I think it's far more important to have a grip on a fewer tools and to be able to customize those tools based on our requirements rather than having a master of none, jack of all, and having just an idea about all the AI tools. We should be able to understand that these are the tools which are really useful in our day-to-day working, and then we can use it as per our requirements. These are just this is a very small list, and I think we're just left with 5 minutes, so I'll open the floor to questions. Notebook LM is not paid. Notebook LM is free of cost. Chat GPT does provide us analysis of the data. I have personally tried feeding a lot of Excel files in Chat GPT and analyzing all those data. It's really helpful in analyzing the data as well. We can copy paste Excel sheets also. That is also not a problem. I'm just reading out the questions from the chat bot. or probably our mediator can help us with a few more questions if there are any from the chat box that I have missed. Quiz creation, I think we can easily create quiz from Quizillion. We can create quiz. Okay, so I'm going to refer back to our slides. Uh, Quizillion is an amazing tool for creating quizzes. We also have, just a second. We also have Great Scope. We have Google Forms. We have Chat GPT. So we can use all these tools for creating quizzes. Yeah. Mediators, please help me take up the questions if there are any.
Sir, one question is from Amunthan. His
Yeah.
question is flag software like Turnitin and other can identify it is the AI phrase
Sorry, I couldn't get your question.
is flag software once answer. Is flag software like Turnitin and other can identify it is the AI phrase? This is the question which is written by Amunthan.
Can you please be more clear about what you're trying to ask? I'm not really able to understand. You can post your question again in the chat box.
Please, Amunthan, write your question
Are there
again
any
in the
AI
chat
tools
box.
for design simulation for class activities? Yes, there are a lot of tools. It really depends on what subject you're dealing with, what grade of students you're dealing with. Are they UG students, PG students, or school students? What are the type of subjects? And there are a lot of tools for simulation activities. You'll just have to find the right tool for you. Duolingo is there for languages. Duolingo is there for basic learning. Khan Academy is providing a lot of tools these days. Khan Migo is there. So there are a lot of tools.
Sir,
Whether
one
Gemini is
question.
able to do what ChatGPT does. Gemini is a little behind what ChatGPT is doing. I personally prefer ChatGPT because it has a lot of knowledge. It knows my working style. It is able to adapt according to my requirements. So you just saw that it was already able to adapt the feedback question, and it automatically included the BCG matrix question. So similarly, chat, I've been using AI for a very long time now, and that is how it's able to be more easier option for me. Can
Sir,
software like Plaque software like Turnitin and others identify the sentence has been? Yes, Turnitin and other softwares are very easily able to make out whether the sentences and the content has been written through AI. And just understand why. As a teacher, you always know whether a particular statement or a line or a paragraph has been written by your student or not. It's full of grammatical mistakes. It has a sense, it has a tone of writing, it has a flow of writing. What AI writes is so perfect, fluent, and it has its own tone of writing. So of course, it is very easily we as educators are even in fact able to easily make out whether that paragraph has been written by AI or that particular student. So yes, Turnitin is able to detect all of this. What are the tools to humanize AI? I think so. We humans are using AI and then requiring tools to humanize AI. I'm not really sure on some very good tools. I suggest that, whenever you're writing your research papers, whenever you're writing content, take ideas from AI, but write it yourself. You'll have a much better output. You'll have a much better understanding, and you will never face problems of plagiarism or AI detection. So I'm going to take the last question from here. How can educators ensure that AI tools do not reinforce bias on? See, this is an inherent risk that comes with AI. AI works from pre-fed data, that is billions and millions of documents and data that is available on the internet. Even if I want to, I cannot modify or make AI move in a particular direction. What I can do is I can give prompts that allow AI to give me output based upon my requirements. So, for example, when we were forming MCQs on strategic management on that BBA units, I specifically asked AI to make difficult questions, and that is how I can drive the AI to work as per my needs. Does chat GPT do data analysis as per SPSS? SPSS is very, very advanced, and I don't think chat GPT is really equipped to give you analysis to the standards of SPSS. So SPSS is way ahead of its league. Thank you so much. I think we should close over here. I'm more than happy to answer one-to-one questions. You can connect me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect. You can write me you can send me a message over there if you need any specific guidance. And I hope you had an useful session. I hope you gained something out of this 90-minute session. And thank you so much for attending and listening to me. Thank you so much.